Okay guys, we may have lost that round, but I have a plan to help get us back on track. What are you doing?
Duh, I'm buying a rev and armor so I can do more damage.
Alright, that's fair. I mean, the other team already have assault rifles now, so it's kind of pointless. Alright guys, we won that round. Let's buy up and then we can... Oh, what the fuck? And that was an excerpt of every single solo queue ranked game I have ever experienced. And I'm sure some of you have either experienced this yourself or are the ones who do this in your own games. And you might be asking,
Well, what's wrong with buying pistols if you win?
nothing! Except you're not taking advantage of the round you are in.
Wait, the round?
Duh. Do you not know what round you're in right now?
Duh, round 14. So you just need to add the score together plus 1.
No. I mean, what kind of round are you in?
There's a difference.
And that was me slapping my face. You're welcome. Anyways, there are in fact different types of rounds other than the round number, and knowing what type of round you're in can give you an idea of what you need to buy so you don't end up using all 2,500 just to buy an AK-47. And believe me when I tell you, this happens a lot. So make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and let's start things off with the pistol round. The pistol round is the first round of the match, or it's the round after the team swap. Both teams start with $800 and can use this to either buy a better pistol or buy full armor. And with the 1.44 update changing the armor prices, it is now easier to buy full armor on pistol rounds. So instead of wondering if someone bought a helmet, you know they bought full armor if they have their starting pistols. Now, depending on what happens in the pistol round will determine the next round your team ends up in. The two rounds you could end up in is either an eco round or an anti-eco round. Let's start with the worst case scenario. Your team lost the pistol round, so that means your team is in an eco round. In an eco round, you have two options. You could either force buy weapons and play to the strengths of those weapons, or the more preferred method, you save your money, which is the whole point of the eco round. And when I say save, I mean you should not spend any money. If you do, you risk not having enough to full buy the next round. Now, I need you to understand what the eco round is so you can understand where the term anti-eco comes from. The anti-eco round is the best case scenario, which is where your team wins the pistol round. This is where your team can build momentum by purchasing assault rifles, armor, and nades to gain an advantage against the other team, which are in an eco round, hence the name anti-eco, where the winning team is doing the exact opposite as the losing team. Kind of like an anti-hero, hero kind of dynamic, but whatever. Now, eco and anti-eco are just the extremes of the types of rounds you could find yourself in. There are 3 more rounds that you need to keep in mind that are not as extreme, but it's still a good idea to keep them in mind. And those are buy rounds, force buy rounds, and save rounds. Save rounds are kind of like eco rounds, but much less strict on the spending money aspect. Save rounds are good for when your team is struggling to stay alive or your team is losing more rounds than they would like. It would be best to only buy what you need instead of what you want. This, of course, being an assault rifle and armor. The best way to start is to buy your armor first. Then you need to see if you can buy a low-tier assault rifle and still have money left over. The absolute lowest amount of money you can have to do this is $3,000. That's enough to buy an AR-15 and armor. And any lower than that, you're starting to reach eco round territory. This is what we call a force buy. Force buy rounds are like the desperado moves in chess. And if you don't know what that means, it means it's your team's last chance to make a play to put yourself in a better position, because you won't get another chance. For these rounds, you need to buy what you can, even if you don't need it, which means you need to buy your weapon first, then whatever you can buy with the amount of money you have left over, even if it's just a pistol, nades, or armor. You need to do everything in your power to ensure you win that round. You only want to be force buying if it's the last round before the team swap or if it's the last round of the match. If your team is in none of the above mentioned rounds, then it is just a buy round. Buy rounds are where you can full buy anything. Armor, nades, even a high tier weapon like an SG, AUG, or U ratio. But just because you can buy whatever you want does not mean you are untouchable. The way you can know if you're still in a buy round is by keeping track of how many rounds in a row your team has won or lost. If your team lost the same amount of rounds you've won in a row, your team is not in a buy round anymore. And it can range from 2 to 6 rounds in a row, but only if you're smart with the money you have. So now to wrap everything up in a nice little bow, here is what you need to buy for each of these rounds. For pistol rounds, you're going to want to buy either armor or a better pistol. Armor gives you the most protection against the starting pistols, and better pistols do more damage than the starting pistols, but you can only have one or the other. I'd go with the armor. For eco rounds, buy nothing. I know it's tempting to want to force buy right now, but not yet. For anti-eco rounds, full buy, full buy, full buy, and never under any circumstances buy an SMG until Critical Force decides to fix them. For save rounds, buy either an M4, AK, or AR-15 first, then see if you have enough to buy full armor. If not, just go in naked and be careful. For force buy rounds, only force buy if it's the last round before the swap or the end of the match. I mean, it's not going to matter because your money is going to get reset at the swap, and the game's not over until it's over. Finally, for buy rounds, make sure you're keeping track of how many rounds you have won in a row, and make sure you don't lose the same amount of rounds in a row. Otherwise, just restock your nades or rebuy your assault rifle and armor. And speaking of restocking, I have a surplus of videos like this on my channel. Here are the videos that YouTube is recommending you watch. And both of them better be my videos, otherwise I'm a full buy your mom's house from the bank. Get wrecked, idiot!